We have made sure from the top down, as a Secretary of Defense who's been in a unit holding riot shields outside the White House during the chaos of the summer of 2020. I know what it's like to be immediately deployed into a situation like that. There are moments where you make do as best you can temporarily, but we are ensuring they're housed, fed, water capabilities in real time from my office, because I care that much about the California Guard and the Marines and the men and women who are supporting our ICE agents on the ground.
You should check
it's
with your
true
office.
every day, and that's a disingenuous attack that misrepresents how much we care about our troops and what they're doing to defend ICE agents. I'm not going to take the fact that we don't care about the troops. Nobody cares more about the troops at the top than this Secretary and the Chairman and our department.
How long will the deployment last?
Welcome back to Right View Nation, where we bring you the truth unfiltered, unapologetic, and proudly patriotic. And today, folks, Pete Hegseth just said what millions of Americans have been screaming at their TV screens for years. And the radical left? Oh, they're losing it. Now listen, Pete Hegseth, combat veteran, America First patriot, and fearless voice of reason, has once again proven why he's one of the last real men left in American media. He stood tall and told the truth about what's happening in our streets, in our cities, and most importantly, in our military and law enforcement. Let's break this down, because what Pete said cuts right to the heart of what we're facing. Lawlessness, weakness, and total failure of leadership from the radical Democrats who'd rather appease criminals than protect American families. Pete called out the chaos in Los Angeles, where National Guard troops were deployed without even the courtesy of proper planning from the bureaucrats in charge. He laid it bare. Our troops, our men and women in uniform, were forced to sleep on concrete floors without basic necessities, all while risking their lives to clean up the mess created by failed Democrat leadership. Shameful. But here's the thing. Instead of pointing fingers at our brave service members or the Trump administration, Pete stood up and did what real leaders do. He defended the honor of our military and reminded everyone that law and order is not a negotiable concept. It's the bedrock of civilization. Pete Hegseth said what the media won't, that President Trump was right to deploy the Guard, that it's about time someone had the backbone to enforce the law when state leaders like Gavin Newsom and Mayor Garcetti were too busy virtue signaling and pandering to Antifa anarchists to actually protect their citizens. 60 days of military presence? Good. Let every looter, every thug, and every criminal out there know, you will not run our cities into the ground. Not on our watch. Not with patriots like Pete Hegseth speaking out, and not with Donald J. Trump at the helm. And to those whining about the cost, $134 million to defend American streets and support our ICE agents? That's a bargain compared to what the left is spending to pamper illegal aliens, house criminals, and tear down our borders. And Pete made one thing crystal clear.
Thank the gentleman. Mr. Aguilar.
Thank you, Chairman General Calvert.
That's right.
Thanks to the witnesses for being here.
Yes, okay, Private, go ahead.
The clock's still moving, Mr. Secretary, I want to express my severe concern with the deployment of the National Guard in Los Angeles without consultation of the state of California. There have been photographs that have shown these troops sleeping on the floor and have not been provided fuel, food, or water by DOD. How long will this deployment last, and why were we unprepared to provide them basic necessities such as food and water?
The commanders and troops on the field are very well prepared, sir. They responded incredibly rapidly to a deteriorating situation with equipment and capabilities. We have made sure from the top down, as a Secretary of Defense who's been in a unit holding riot shields outside the White House during the chaos of the summer of 2020. I know what it's like to be immediately deployed into a situation like that. There are moments where you make do as best you can temporarily, but we are ensuring they're housed, fed, water capabilities in real time from my office, because I care that much about the California Guard and the Marines and the men and women who are supporting our ICE agents on the ground.
You should check
it's
with your
true
office.
every day, and that's a disingenuous attack that misrepresents how much we care about our troops and what they're doing to defend ICE agents. I'm not going to take the fact that we don't care about the troops. Nobody cares more about the troops at the top than this Secretary and the Chairman and our department.
How long will the deployment last?
We stated very publicly that it's 60 days. Because we want to ensure that those rioters, looters, and thugs on the other side assaulting our police officers know that we're not going anywhere. We're
is the
here to
estimated-
maintain the peace on behalf of law enforcement
Secretary,
officers in Los Angeles,
appreciate
which
you
Gavin
answering the
Newsom
question.
won't do.
What is the estimated cost of the deployment for the Guard and the Marines to LA, and where's this funding coming from? Will it be coming from quality of life programs that affect our service members or our families? If you want to wait till I finish.
Before
my
I hand it to-
question,
before I-
such as updates, housing and barracks.
Before I hand it to Bryn, the insinuation that we're pulling money from housing and barracks in order to fund this is disingenuous and incorrect.
I'm just asking.
Bryn can give you the numbers, absolutely.
So the current estimated cost is $134 million, which is largely just TDY costs, travel, housing, food, et cetera.
Where's it coming from? That's the cost, but where's it coming from?
Out of their O&M accounts.
With the most recent deployment of the Marines, Mr. Secretary, what's the justification for using the military for civilian law enforcement purposes in LA? Why are you sending war fighters to cities to interact with civilians?
Every American citizen deserves to live in a community that's safe, and ICE agents need to be able to do their job. They're being attacked for doing their job, which is deporting illegal criminals. That should happen in any city, Minneapolis or Los Angeles. And if they're attacked, that's lawless, and President Trump believes in law and order. So he has every authority, and he has done mobilizing National Guard or active duty troops under U.S. code to protect federal agents in their job, which is exactly what we're doing, and we're proud to do it. We're proud to do it.
10 U.S.C. of the U.S. Code 12406 as a legal basis that the president used cites 3 examples and circumstances for the Guard: invasion by a foreign nation, rebellion or dangerous rebellion against the authority of the government of the United States, or the president is unable with regular forces to execute the laws of the United States. Which authority is triggered here to justify the use?
I don't know. You just read it yourself, and people can listen themselves, but it sounds like all 3 to me. If you've got millions of illegals and you don't know where they're coming from, they're waving flags from foreign countries and assaulting police officers and law enforcement officers, that's the problem.
The laws of the United States?
No, the governor of California is unable to execute the laws of the United States.
The president, you said all
The
3
governor
apply.
of the California has failed to protect his people, along with the mayor of Los Angeles, and so President Trump has said he will protect our agents, and our Guard and Marines are
The law
proud to do
also
it.
says, Mr. Secretary, that the orders for these purposes shall be issued through governors of the states.
You and I both know that President Trump has all the authorities necessary, and thankfully he's willing to do it on behalf of the citizens of Los Angeles, on behalf of our ICE agents, and behalf of our country.
We've also pulled $1 billion for the border as well. So this just goes into the same fund, 134. What did
Congressman,
you
what's the-
indicate, 134 million? I was asking Ms. McDonald.
Okay.
134 million goes on top of the billion that's been pulled for the
So
border.
the funding that was pulled for this year was largely in FSRM, and in this budget, we're actually looking to plus that funding back up to backfill that for our troops and for their families.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank the gentleman. Mr. Valadeo.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Secretary. Thank you, General. Thank you, Ms. McDonald, for being here.
The president has every constitutional right to use our military to protect federal agents and enforce the law. 10 U.S. Code 12406 gives that authority, and Pete didn't blink when he said, all 3 conditions are met. You've got rebellion, you've got foreign flags in the streets, and you've got state leaders who have completely lost control. If that's not grounds for federal action, then what is? You see, the left wants chaos. They thrive in it. They want the police defunded, the borders open, and the military weakened. But Pete Hegseth? He wants America strong again. He wants our troops respected, our cities protected, and our laws enforced. And for that, we salute him. Pete didn't just defend the Guard and the Marines. He defended America's soul. The soul that believes in personal responsibility. The soul that believes criminals should face consequences, not excuses. The soul that knows freedom isn't free. It's secured by the men and women who wear the uniform and stand between us and chaos. So while the left continues to whine about militarization, while they cry crocodile tears over lawbreakers being held accountable, Pete Hegseth is standing with those who put on the uniform and do the job. He's standing with you, with me, with every patriot who still believes in the America our founding fathers built. So here's the bottom line, folks. Pete Hegseth is right. President Trump is right. And anyone who dares to put America last needs to sit down, shut up, and let the adults handle the job. This is Right View Nation, and we're not backing down. We're not apologizing. We stand for the troops, we stand for law and order, and we stand with Pete Hegseth. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And hit that bell so you never miss a moment of truth from the heart of Real America. God bless our troops. God bless Pete Hegseth. And God bless the United States of America.